Guys, we may have figured out the most likely characters for Multiversus. And no, I'm not joking, because the game director of Multiversus, Tony Wynn himself, basically said they're looking at specific results, and we have those results to go over and take a peek at. So, quick backstory, somebody on Twitter asked him how him and his team are picking characters for the game, and his response was, I really want players to be involved with who we pick to do. For now, I'm going off the player-made ballot on Reddit posted a while back. Luckily, many people sent me the link to this official player ballot a few days ago, so thank you guys very much for that. But we have the results, and we're going to take a peek at them. So one thing I want to say, here's the first slide. It's from the DC universe. So what I want to say first is, just because characters have a lot of votes doesn't mean they're guaranteed. It just means they're more likely to be looked at over other characters. We will have a breakdown of the top 10 most requested characters, most voted characters from this whole fan poll. So we'll get there in a second, but we got 7 different slides. First one is the DC universe. I don't want to sit here and analyze every single character because there's a lot to go over, so just going to kind of skim through it. So we got different categories of characters. DC superheroes on the left. We got down at the bottom Watchmen characters, and then there's a category on the right for DC villains and anti-heroes. So even if you just take a look at, say, the top 3 per category, those are going to be the ones that have the best chance or more likely than others to become playable on the roster, just because there's more interest in that character. So, for example, DC heroes, The Flash, Green Lantern, and Shazam are the top 3 most interested characters from the community. So that's who Tony and his team, again, Tony told us in that tweet, this is the results, this is the poll that they're looking at. So by us looking at this as well, we can kind of decipher and deduce who might be the most likely. And again, none of these characters are guaranteed, but it's still fun to see these results nonetheless. But that's DC heroes. What about the Watchmen? We got Dr. Manhattan for a Watchmen character. If that happens, he's going to be the most likely, I suppose. And then we got DC villains over on the right-hand side. Joker is by far leading the way, so he's definitely the most likely for villains. Second and third place is Darkseid and Catwoman. So I guess Joker, Darkseid, Catwoman are your top 3 most likely villains in terms of this fan poll. But then again, like I said, nobody's guaranteed. But we'll take a look at the next slide, though, and more categories. This one is Cartoon Network Nostalgia, Teen Titans category, Cartoon Show categories, and then 2000s Cartoon Network characters. Over on the Teen Titans side, it's a 5-person race, 5-horse race, 5 Titan race. There you go. 5 Teen Titans are basically they all have a lot of interest. Robin, Raven, Beast Boy, Cyborg, and Starfire all have a ton of interest. Now, Raven is leading the way in this poll. Now, it doesn't mean she's the one guaranteed to be in, although some of us know, but she's not guaranteed. Like, say they looked at Beast Boy and went, all right, Beast Boy still has a ton of interest from this poll, but maybe the development team thinks they could come up with a more unique and more fun and diverse moveset for Beast Boy as opposed to Raven. Just throwing that out there as an example. Just because a character has the most votes doesn't mean they're guaranteed, but if there's a lot of interest and the dev team thinks they can come up with something pretty unique for a moveset, then as long as the interest is there, that's the route they might end up taking, right? But cartoon shows there in the middle. We got Dexter leading the way, Johnny Bravo, and all 3 Powerpuff Girls for 3-in-1 character slot. Those are your top 3. And then 2000s Cartoon Network characters. We got Samurai Jack. We got young and older Ben 10. More information on Ben 10 in just a little bit later in the video, because it's kind of interesting actually. But young Ben 10 and older Ben 10 there's even aliens on there like Diamond Head and Heat Blast. 4 arms that are getting votes, so Alien X, kind of funny. But let's move to the next slide here, which is the classic and retro cartoons. Again, more awesome. This is a really great poll. Like the way this is organized and kind of broken down, numbers wise, this is fantastic. But we got Looney Tunes, additional Scooby-Doo characters, Warner Bros. Animation characters, Hanna-Barbera characters. Looks like Daffy Duck, Wile E. Coyote, Marvin the Martian, and Tasmanian Devil are the top 4 most likely Looney Tune characters. Then you got Warner Bros. Animation characters. All 3 Animaniacs in one character getting a ton of votes. 264, by far one of the most requested characters. Then Hanna-Barbera got Fred Flintstone and Yogi Bear as the top 2 for Hanna-Barbera representation. So more votes means more likely to be looked at by the dev team than the other characters that are scoring lower. But again, it's their pick in the end. But as long as the players are voting for it, then these characters actually do have a chance. But then you got the next slide here, Modern Cartoon Network, Adventure Time, you got Steven Universe, you got modern Cartoon Network characters, 2010 to right now, and then Adult Swim. So 2010 modern Cartoon Network characters, looks like Mordecai and Rigby in a, I think, 2-in-1 character is leading the way for that category. Got Gumball Watterson in second place, and then KO/TKO in third place for that category. So they got to be the most likely because they're drawing the most attention and most interest, I should say. Then the Adult Swim characters, you got Rick Sanchez and Morty Smith, the top 2. And then number 3 might surprise some people, but for Adult Swim characters, it's Robot Chicken. Yeah, that'd be an interesting one, right? Robot Chicken is a really funny, awesome WTF kind of character. They could have some fun with that character. They really could. But let's move to the next slide here, which is live action WB. Got Game of Thrones categories, additional HBO programs, WB licensed fantasy franchises. No surprise, Harry Potter's leading the way on that one. Then you got other WB live action film characters, with number 1 going to Neo for The Matrix. Number 2 is The Mask. I'm surprised people remember The Mask. I really am. Like, The Mask is quite old. Sure, the movie happened, in the 90s, but wasn't there also not a live action, but there was a animated series as well, which was actually kind of fun. I remember that. I really do. But I'm surprised that The Mask has so many votes. It'd be kind of a great character, to be honest. But then Freddy Krueger happens to be number 3 for this category, so a lot of variety. Neo, The Mask, and Freddy Krueger. Yeah, how about that? Good luck, dev team. Good luck. But next slide, we got other WB properties. We got WB-owned TV shows, WB video game characters. Looks like Scorpion and Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat are head and shoulders above everybody else on the list. But third place is Maxwell from Scribblenauts. So that's kind of cool. I think Maxwell would be a very, very fun character, and he's kind of underlooked for this game, to be honest. He's kind of like perfect for this game. If you know anything about Scribblenauts and Maxwell, he's like great for this. But then you got Lego characters, Emmett leading the way, Rooster Teeth characters with Ruby Rose. And then I believe here's the last slide for, I guess, guest characters. Broken down by Warner Bros. Distributed anime characters, like Jotaro's up at top there. You got Sesame Street has their own. Sesame Street. People want to see Elmo in Multiverse. I don't know if that's a joke, because it could be. But then again, maybe it's not. Maybe people really do want to see a Sesame Street character in this. I personally don't, but, my opinion is not the only one that matters. And then the last category on the right is the impossible characters, and that has Godzilla leading the way. Not surprised there. Goku is actually number 2. What a surprise. And then Spider-Man is number 3. I don't know, would Disney, would Marvel play well with, I don't know. That's a topic for somebody else to discuss and try to figure out how that would happen. But, yes, that is a lot of numbers, right? A lot of numbers. So let's put that into perspective. Here are the top 10 most voted characters from that official poll that Tony and his team are looking at. So the top 10, according to, this is the actual post from Reddit, Daffy Duck, the Joker, Scooby-Doo and Scorpion actually tied for number of votes for third place. Then Samurai Jack, Sub-Zero, The Flash, Fred Flintstone, the Animaniacs, 3-in-1 character, Harry Potter, and Rick Sanchez are your top 10 most wanted or voted or most interested characters. But look at that. An honorable mention goes to Ben 10, who likely would have reached the top 5 spot if votes were not split between young Ben 10, teen Ben, and a handful of alien transformations. So you might as well throw Ben 10 in the top 5, right? So I guess you could say there's your top 11 most requested characters. Again, this doesn't mean they're guaranteed to happen, but it's still interesting nonetheless. We have results, we have what Tony and his team are looking at. And if that's what they're looking at, and that's what they said they're kind of basing on how they're picking the roster, well, then we may know who's coming to the roster. There still might be surprises that weren't even on this list whatsoever, that maybe got 1 or 2 or 0 votes. Who knows? Surprises are always fun. WTF characters, out of left field characters might pop up and we don't expect it, but maybe even other third-party characters. Heck, what if Mario from Super Mario... yeah, no way a Nintendo character gets in. No way. It's Nintendo. But either way, we have the results. There it is. There's your top 10 most wanted characters. Or I guess, yeah, most likely characters for Multiversus.